its perceptions of women, but also of Islam. Professor Rasha El-Dessouky, a Muslim scholar in Al-Azhar University in Cairo and an activist for more than 30 years in the United States, spoke about the media's political agenda.
Unfortunately, Islam has suffered from bad media all over the world. I have studied about 58 novels that speak about Islam and Muslims, and it does give a very bad image of Islam. The reason is all these political events that happen around the world are connected to the media. Whenever there is a very hot issue, whenever there is a fight over something, whenever there is a new revolution, you find that the media intensifies against the Muslims. And all the old images that we have seen by Orientalists in the 16th century, things that have to do with the Crusades, things that have to do with wars between Muslims and non-Muslims, they bring all these up again, conjure them up in the memory of the viewer in order to bash Islam and make it look bad. So what we advise is that people seek the sources of Islam and talk to Muslim people and not think that the media is the only source about Islam and Muslims.
Dr. Leila Ahmed, a professor in the Divinity School at Harvard University, met with us and also spoke about the media.
The idea that Islam oppresses women became just a normal view expressed in the media and so on, even though there was no ground to it. Historically, there's no evidence for this. It was just a prejudice that was being repeated by the media. And many Muslim women felt offended by this, and they wanted to make clear to whoever they were speaking with or wherever they were out in the streets that they were Muslim and they stood by it and did not accept the prejudices.
It always disappoints me when I watch the media and I see more falsity than truth about Islam. There's many experts about Islam, but they're not always Muslims themselves. They're people who get information from places that seems to be something other than what most Muslims understand. And I always find that the media will latch on to anything bad someone that happens to be Muslim does. While there are so many millions of Muslims out in the world that are doing great things, great projects, great initiatives, but they're never mentioned.
After 9/11, there was a time when I honestly hardly could bear to turn on the television, because this was when we were going to war, of course, immediately after 9/11, we were going to war with Afghanistan. And there was endless shots of women in burqa, suffering, how we had to go and rescue them. And this somehow, this was Islamic oppression of women. The burqa was a sign of that. And by extension, any kind of head covering was seen as Islamic oppression. And that became the prevailing narrative in America for a few months. It was really quite distressing. So it was very much a media issue and a political issue, but it was presented as women's oppression in Islam, and therefore Islam was just terribly oppressive. And that extended, and that was partly why I'm sure women were attacked. Young American women wearing hijab suffered the consequences of this media representation.
A lot of people were getting information from the media that wasn't correct about Islam. What I was able to do, and this was a positive thing, was be able to pass on information that was the truth about Islam. People who were wondering about it, people who didn't know anything about it, when they found out I was Muslim, they would ask me questions, and I was able to tell them what a great thing Islam is, what it meant to me, how it inspired me. And this was a positive thing that I was able to find after I converted. Even though initially I was very scared, I was afraid people would sort of turn away from me and not listen to me. But I actually found there's many people that are open to hearing what you have to say. They're actually curious. They just don't have anyone to ask.
In Belgium, I received information that we could meet a non-Muslim by the name of Harmony, whose brother converted to Islam 8 years ago. When it happened, Harmony said to herself, if my brother can become a Muslim, what the media say about Islam can't be true. So she enrolled at the University of Leuven to learn more about the religion. This is what she had to say.
Islamophobes hurt the Islam in a way, but on the other side they make publicity because of their bad behavior and their hurtful sayings, people will start to investigate by themselves. So they will go and look about the Islam. And so actually Islamophobes make publicity. Maybe it's not intentional, but they do it. But yeah, they hurt some people in a way.
People had a lot of questions, and so they actually started to research Islam. They wanted to know more about it. So even though the media was portraying a negative image, people wanted to know if it was true or not. So a lot of people did go out and find the real answers, and so in an ironic way, it was a good publicity for Islam, even though what the media was portraying was bad.
The number of converts increased significantly after 9/11. At the mosque I used to go to in North Virginia, I used to witness 1 to 2 people declaring their faith every week before 9/11. But the month after, I witnessed a case of conversion every day, and some days 2 or more. This wasn't because of 9/11, of course, but rather because of the demonization of Muslims in the media and the continuous defamation of Islam by Islamophobes, which made many people more curious to learn about it. A personal question.
Yes.
Do you think one day you may become Muslim or Christian or stay as an atheist? Just what do you think?
In my opinion, I think that I would probably convert to Islam. But I know it's going to be very hard because people here in Europe don't have a good image of Islam. Certainly if a Belgian person converts itself. But I think that Islam is one of the most beautiful beliefs, and I really believe that what is written down, it is the truth. So yes, I think I may one day convert to Islam.
Next door to Belgium, we met Pauline, a Dutch pediatrician who spoke to us what made her embrace Islam.
When I was 21 years old, I was in the middle of my medical studies. It came to my attention that when I watched the news and what talked about Islam or Muslims, that all of the news, or predominantly all of the news, is negative. Especially when it comes to women, it's always very negative. Something about women not being able to go to school in Afghanistan, about women getting acid thrown in their faces in Pakistan, a lot of bad things. And also in the climate that what was going on at that time in Western Europe where I lived, it was very anti-Islamic to my feeling. And I just followed the media and just believed everything they said, and I had a very negative idea about Islam. During that year when I was 21, I started to, in my free time, get some extra information about Islam. And the reason I wanted to do that is because I wanted to have more arguments about why this was such a horrible religion. I wanted to be able to debate people about it. So in my free time, like I said, I started to read some stuff, to watch some videos about Islam. And in the beginning, I could still say, okay, I hate this religion, it's bad because of this and this and this. But as I read more and more, I started to really feel, I started to feel I liked it. There were things about it that appealed to me as a person, as a human being. I started to feel that, okay, I hate it, but yeah, this and this and this is kind of cool about it. And in the end, after months and months of reading some stuff, I found out that I couldn't say anymore that I hated it. The list of things that I liked was just too long. And I really felt it was really like coming home, because it was really it really suited my way of my way of thinking of how life should be. And I couldn't help myself and converted. So that's how I became a Muslim.
Elisa, a half Venezuelan, half Chinese lingerie designer whom I met in Hong Kong, spoke to me from her heart.